So let us start with last time I think we took 3 to 4 sessions on the pandas only because that was the most important library, okay, for data analysis as well as till we will study machine learning in future or somewhere, doesn't matter. We are going to use that for sure. That will come into the picture for sure. The pandas is the most important library. Those who have somehow missed that, please listen those videos and practice. There are a lot more things, lots and lots of things which are available in the pandas only. So please do practice, and I've given you 2 projects and expect you people to complete them, honestly, because that's very much important. After doing that, you will feel confident. Okay, now I can do any analysis part from them. Okay, so now we are going to start our, basically you can say EDA. EDA means exploratory data analysis. Okay, one way to visualize the data or to one way to get insight from the data was doing the analysis that we saw last time with the help of pandas. We used some group by functions, we found out max function, min function, and all, right? But before building any machine learning model, the prime requirement is to understand the data first of all. What kind of data I am having? Okay, what is the relationship between the data? Okay, so different pattern, what pattern the data is following, what distribution data is following. For that purpose, we have to do exploratory data analysis. Explore the data as much you can. Okay, and basically for exploration, the best way is to understand is the visualization. Best way to explore data is visualization. Visualize that data. Okay, there are several libraries which are available for the visualization. The most old one is Matplotlib. Okay, Matplotlib. And although it's very old, so much customization is also there. But if you get a plot from Matplotlib, these are not that beautiful, honestly speaking. You will not love them. Okay? Although they give you a power to see everything you want, big, but not beautiful, not interactive, graphs are not available, or the visuals are not available. On top of Matplotlib, okay, there are other library which has been built, which is widely used for visualization, known as Seaborn. And this is the most popular library which is being used for visualization. 100% free of cost. Matplotlib is open source, Seaborn is open source. You can directly use that. And Seaborn is itself built on the top of Matplotlib, but the graphs that we get from the Seaborn are much beautiful, much attractive than your Matplotlib. There are other libraries also which are available in the market, like your Cuffling, your Plotly. Several libraries are available which you can use that. Okay? So we'll be focusing on Matplotlib and Seaborn. Okay, so let me make it a comment. We'll start from the Matplotlib. So to use the Matplotlib library means for the visualization, what you have to do, you have to first of all import that library. So you type import matplotlib dot pyplot as an alias, like here. If you don't as an alias, perfectly fine. Every time you have to write this much matplotlib dot pyplot, then dot whatever you want to do. So instead of anywhere writing matplotlib.pyplot, we will be directly writing PLT. This is an alias. For example, we write import pandas as PD. Same way, we have write import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. First thing, okay. Let me execute that. Perfectly executed. If you people are using Anaconda Navigator, don't worry, you don't have to install it because it's by default available. You have to just import it. You have to just import it. It's directly available. If you are using other libraries for Python, then you have to import it. Okay. After that, there is one line. Sometimes it is mandatory, which is known as percentage sign or remainder sign, the whatever you call it, and type matplotlib, then space and type inline. What it does, I will tell you. Okay. Sometimes it is required in the latest Anacondas, it is not required, but sometimes it is required. Why? If you don't use this, if you don't use this line, percentage matplotlib inline, then what you have to do every time you want to show any graph, okay, any visual, you have to use this command again and again, plt.show. Again and again, you have to use this command, plt.show. Means you are using, for example, 1000 visuals in your report, then you have to 1000 times you have to write plt.show, 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 plt.show. But in case you are using this matplotlib inline, then you don't have to type this. then you don't have to type this. Okay? This is the reason why this matplotlib inline is used. In some of the latest Anaconda, even this writing this line is not mandatory. You can skip this one, even you can skip this. Both can be skipped in a few of the Anaconda's latest versions, right? So let me execute this as well. And let's start our visualization. For having a visualization, let's first of all have some data. So I'm creating a data, a simple data. Okay. For creating a data, I'm using NumPy. So I'm typing import NumPy as NP so that I can create some data from this NumPy library. And suppose I'm creating a data like x equal to np dot linspace, means I want to generate some linearly spaced data. I want to generate some linearly spaced data between numbers 0 and 5. Okay, I want to generate some linearly spaced data between 0 to 5, and how much data points I want? Suppose I want 11 points. I just typed. Okay, means I want to generate some linearly spaced data between numbers 0 and 5, and those, how many points I want? I need 11 points. So just execute that. And if you want to see that, I will get an n NumPy array having 11 points. Okay. So I get some 11 points between 0 to 5. 0 something something something, or 11 points are available. You can count them: 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have 11 points between 0 and 5. Now we start to visualize our data. And this very, very easy thing to do. Before using that, let me do one more thing. Let me create one variable more. Okay. And that variable is nothing but, let's say, x to the power 2. Okay, this is one variable y, which is nothing but x to the power 2. So you just execute that. And if you want to see that, again, you can see that. All this thing I'm doing means I'm generating x, I'm generating y, so that I can get the data, and on that data, on the basis of that data, I can create some visuals. Okay, so I get an x, which is this one, this is y, this one. Now suppose I want to see relationship between x and y. Okay. Now I want to see the visual relationship. Although from this formula we can easily guess that y is nothing but x to the power 2. But visually, if I want to see that, okay, if visually we want to see that, how can we see that? If you are from mathematics background, everyone must be knowing that this is nothing but equation of which mathematical curve? Can anybody tell me? Y equals to x square.
Parabola.
Yes,
Parabola,
yes,
sir.
yes. Parabola of the form x square equal to 4ay, right? X square equal to 4ay. So what I am going to do, see, simple thing. I've used an alias PLT. So I'm typing PLT dot plot. See properly. But it's very simple thing. I'm typing PLT dot plot, means I want to plot something. What I want to plot? Example, I want to plot x and y. I want to plot x and y. Simple, nothing else I wrote. I just use PLT, the alias which has been created. Then I just mention plot, and I mention x comma y. And let me run that. Sorry, I run some other cell. Immediately I got a graph. You can see, as expected, the same kind of graph we were expecting. It's of the shape x square equal to 4ay. Right or wrong? If we would have x negative values and the y equal to x square would have been same, then we would have got this complete parabola of x square equal to 4ay. How easy we are getting our first visual? Simple. You need to have your x data points, means data points, what you need on the x-axis, what you need on the y-axis, and so you can push into that PLT dot plot x comma y. Now see, slowly I'll keep adding the things. Okay. Now suppose this color I'm not liking. I'm not liking this color. Okay. So what I can do, I can put a comma, I can put a quotes here, and I can type simple letter. For example, I'm typing a letter R. Okay, and see what is going to happen. Can you check? Immediately my color got changed. Let me put it green. Okay. Color changed to green. Let me put it blue. And blue. How easy it is, right? I'm very, very easily able to change the color of my graphs, which I want to see. But this graph is for me. I will add several things in this. Within this bracket, several things are going to be added very soon. But study from the start. Even we can remove that. If you need a simple graph, just put X and Y, get a graph. If you want to add some color, you want to change some color, use them. It's up to you. Now see, I put a R, I got a red color. Suppose I put a star here. Can you see what I get? Same relationship I got, but now star is coming here. If I put dash dash, see, I'm getting this shape here. Can you see? I just put R dash dash. Suppose I put like this, star and dash. Okay. Can you see? I get this kind of graph. How easy customization is. How easy customization, what I want to see there. What I want to see there. Just simple that. I can put two graph, or even I can put this way also. Whatever I want to see. It shows, okay, fine. It will not be able to use that because 2 points need to be there. By mistake, I type 3. Star I've already put. Even you can do this thing also. Dash first and star here. Okay. Same graph I'm getting. How easy the customization is. Okay, now see. Okay, I got a graph, but I'm not able to see what parameter this y-axis is indicating, what parameter this x-axis is indicating. I'm not able to see that. Okay, I'm not able to see that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come here and set my labels. I'm going to set my x label and y label, whatever you want to set. So what you have to type again, plt dot x label, x label. Okay, plt dot x label, put bracket, and whatever you want to put, type as a string. Suppose I said x-axis, x-axis. Similarly, come down, plt dot y label, whatever you want to put. I said y axis. Okay, so I'll get this one here, x-axis label, y-axis label. Okay, but suppose I want to give a title to this graph. Okay, that I can also do, plt dot title. Okay, and whatever you want to write, suppose this graph or relationship between y versus x or x versus whatever you want to write. Let me run this and please check. Okay, this is the basic thing we required, means how to set the x level, how to set the y level, and how to set the title. Very simple process. You can do that. Please see and tell me any issue in that so far. Perfect. I think it is perfect. No issue with that so far. Please tell me. Let me make it simple. Let me remove everything so from here so that you can get a very simple graph from this. Is it okay? Later on, we will add things so you will understand what we can put, what we cannot put. But if you want to remove this, you can remove this also. This is a simple indication of colors. That's it, nothing else. You can remove that system. Remove it. For simple thing, take it this way. For now. Is it fine now? Please tell me, is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now suppose within the same canvas, I want to put multiple plots. I'm getting only one plot right now. Suppose I want to plot 4 plots, 5 plots, 6 plots within the same canvas which is available right now. This is the canvas which is available, and I want to plot multiple graphs here. So what I can do now, again I will go to plt dot, this time I'll type subplot. Okay, subplot, then bracket. Now see what you will type. You will tell them how many rows you want. Suppose I want to see 4 graphs. Understand this way. Okay, I want to see 4 graphs, but I want all 4 graphs in one horizontal line. Means all are next to each other. Means example like this. First graph, second graph, third graph, fourth graph. So how many rows are there? They're only in one row. But how many columns? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So understand what do you mean by rows and columns here. Suppose I need 8 graphs. So how many rows I will need? Again 2, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8. If you want 8 graphs this way, then you have to type number of rows are 2 and number of columns are 4. But suppose same 8 you can get this way also. You can have 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, but 2 columns. First graph, second graph, third graph, fourth graph, fifth graph, sixth graph, seventh graph, eighth graph. Okay, so it's up to you how you want to place them. It's entirely up to you. Okay, how you want to place them. Suppose these graphs are bigger graphs. So of course, this is the preferred method. If you are putting 4 bigger graphs this way, you are not able to visualize the things properly. Okay, in that scenario, this is better. If you are having small graph, this scenario is better. So, okay, so we have to specify how many rows we want, how many columns we want. Okay, so I'm going there, this window, and I'm typing. Suppose I need 2 plots. Okay, so 2 plots can come in only in one row. So I will type 1 row, 2 column. Okay, and I need how many? 1 row, 2 column. That means I can have 2 graphs, right? So first graph, for the first graph, I will type here 1. For first graph, I will type 1. After that, once you do that, once you have done that, enter and use your plot, whatever your plot was. This was the plot. No? Take that plot. This way, first plot will be plotted. If you want to see, I get first plot here, and now it has been shrunk. Can you see that? This was the above plot, which was having large canvas, but it has been taken small canvas because when you are putting this way, the matplotlib understand that he needs 2 graphs. So let me shrink the graph now. Let me shrink the graph so that other graph can come on the same canvas. Right? Beneath that, again, now you want to put second graph. So you will again use the same function. Suppose this I copied. Okay. But this time, which graph this is? This is second number graph. So put it 2 here. Put it 2 here. Okay. This is first graph. This is second graph. So put 2 here. And here, for example, interchange their position. Or let it be same. Let me change the color of this. It is blue. So let me make it red so that you can understand. Okay. So what will happen? You can yourself check now. Can you check it, please? See properly. Get an idea what I'm doing. Please see properly and get an idea what is happening here. Easily see, because these are very important to understand. Hope it is fine.
Yes, sir.
That's great. Okay. So if you want multiple graphs, so you can type 1, 2, for example, I need 4 graphs here. So you can type 1, 4. Then for the first graph, you will type 1. For second graph, you will type 2. For third graph, you will type 3. For example, let me add more. Let me make it 1, 3. Okay. So 1, 3, 1 is this. 1, 3, 2 is this. Let me do one more thing. Let me come down. Let me come here. Let me make 1, 3, 3. And instead of this, change y to x. X and y replace their position. Okay. And use it. Can you check now? Within the same canvas, 3 graphs are coming. I hope everyone got an idea now. Is it fine? Those people who are from the MATLAB background, they must have getting it easier, because in the MATLAB, normally these kind of graphs are available. Please tell me, everyone, is it fine? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Others, please.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now see. This is the simple graph I have shown you. Very, very simple graph. Okay. For the people, although that graph I'm going to plot, you are not going to see in your machine learning, but somebody is working in the research field, then they may require, suppose I want a sine plot here or a cosine plot here. Okay. Suppose what I did, I created an X and I said np.a range, means generate the numbers. Okay. np.a range, and I need number from 0 to 5 pi. 5 pi. You know pi, Greek symbol, right? That pi. And that pi in your NumPy is available. So you can type np.pi. If you want to check that, don't worry. You can go here and check the value of np.pi. See, it's 3.1415. So I generate the number x between 0 to 5 pi and within the increment of suppose 0.1. Okay. I generate my x now. And what I did now, right? Now I said that y underscore sine, see properly, y underscore, I'm giving a variable name. So variable name, that's it. You can give any variable name. Y underscore sine is equal to np dot sine of this x. This x is having value 0 to 5 pi. So all the values between 0 to 5 pi will be taken by this y. Okay, so we'll be calculating sine value of that and we'll give you that value. Similarly, I'm doing y underscore cos equal to np dot cos, again x. This has been generated. Now people can be, I want to plot these two. I want to plot these two side by side. How can I do that? Can you tell me now, please? Now you know how to do that. I earlier, just 2 minutes ago, I just show you how to do that. Please, you want hint, you can see above and tell me.
The inside same plot.
Okay, tell me what to do. PLT.
Hello.
Yes, please tell me. PLT dot subplot.
Sir, inside
Right?
same plot, no?
Yeah, inside same plot. Inside same window rather, not same plot, same window. Same canvas that is available. The same canvas which is available.
Then why?
I'll type
Sine
1 comma 2, right? I'll type 1 comma 2 because in one row I need two graphs. Then my first graph comes here. Okay. Then I said that PLT dot plot. What I want to plot, relationship between x and y underscore sine. Okay. This is my first graph. Y underscore sine. Second graph I want to plot, PLT dot subplot 1 comma 2 comma 2, because this is the second plot of the graph. Okay. And I'm going to type PLT dot plot. This time I want x versus y underscore cos. Okay. And we can run that. Can you see? This is our sine wave with respect to x, and this is our cosine wave with respect to x. Okay, so we can generate our sine data, cosine data, and even visualize that data. Is it okay, everyone? See and please tell me. Is it okay? Am I audible or not? I can't hear anyone.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Is it okay, everyone, please? At least those are listening. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when we are plotting this kind of data, see, it's almost a line graph, right? We are getting a line graph, a simple line graph. Don't worry, we are moving ahead and you'll understand. Actually, the way we created these graphs using PLT.plot and something, this is known as functional way. There are two kinds of approach in the programming. One is known as functional and procedure-based programming. The second is object-oriented programming. That what we have done, whatever we have done, we have used a function, the method, plot, x label, y label, title, something, all this thing we have done. So this is the nothing but your functional approach of plotting the graph. There is one more approach in the matplotlib, which is known as object-oriented approach. Okay, so we will create the object, and longer run object-oriented programming is good. Although it is very easy. This is damn easy. That is bit Honestly speaking, if you see that, you will find it bit complicated than this. But you should know this. It is not mandatory. It is not like this that people will ask you, please create the graph using object-oriented concepts only. No, never ever people ask you. They need some visualization. That's it. Whatever way you want, do that. They don't bother what you are doing. Okay, they don't bother what you are doing. So how can we do this? Is the what we have studied is a functional approach. Now we will do the object-oriented approach. How can we do that? So we have to create an object. How will we do that? See. So we will type plt dot figure. Understand first. So we'll create an object first. But let's say that his name is fig. So I create an object first of all, like we did in the object-oriented program. A simple created an object plt dot figure. Okay. See, it created 4432 into 30. That is blank canvas. You can see that if I type here, nothing, an empty. It created a blank canvas for me. Nothing is there. Okay. Now what we can do? Now we will add access to that. How we will add? Understand. So first of all, line will be plt dot figure. That you did perfectly fine. Now you will try to add access. So I'll typing access. This is the variable name. You can put any name, but it is better. You can understand that thing better. So I'm creating access equal to C. I'm creating the same object that you have created. The object name is figure. I'm typing fig. Sorry, fig. Same object that I have created. Dot. Now its method add underscore access. Okay. Now little bit complex thing is going to come. A bracket. Inside this, you have to pass a list. As I told you, it is a bit complicated, but understand. Once you understand, you will get it better. And within this, I'm passing some numbers. So let's first of all see, and the numbers will be always between 0 to 1 only. 0.1, 0.1, example, 0.8, 0.8. What it is telling actually, understand. It is simply saying that out of all the canvas which has been assigned to this fig, okay, start creating access from 0.1. That means 10%. 10% of that. For example, you are starting from 0 to 10, and again the height is 0 to 10, width is 0 to 10. A size is assigned. So wherever it is assigned, I'm typing 0.1. So I started from 1. Okay. So this is what is from the left. This indicates your left position. 0.1 from left. Then how much above from bottom? That is 0.1. Okay. This is how much percentage above from that. That is 0.1. How much percentage from this is 0.1. So convert it to 10%. We will automatically understand. That's why I said number will be always between 0 and 1. This is simply saying that 0.1 means again 0.1 or 10% above whatever size has been assigned. For example, 20 has been assigned to your height. Then from bottom, take 2 points above. Okay, so that is 10%. Now, how much height you will occupy of that? That is 0.8 and 80%. How much width you will occupy? Okay, so this first parameter is your width. This is your height. So this is nothing but left, bottom, width and height. I'm repeating once again, left, bottom, width and height. This is the first thing you will do that. Okay, now see, as I told you, it is bit complicated, but the moment we will do 2-3 things, you will understand that. After that, okay, I'm saying that I want to plot an in same axis that you have created. Okay, you have seen axes have been assigned. Now you will tell on this axis you want to plot. On that axis you want to plot. What you want to plot? You want to plot x and y. Very much like you did plt dot plot. Same thing. Axis dot. Here in that purpose, your axes are automatically assigned. We have to manually assign axes here. You'll get an advantage as well. You'll see that very soon. Axis dot plot. First of all, I assigned axis. Okay, this is my axis window. And within that, I want to plot x and y. First thing is done. Okay, even I've done that, it's sufficient for me. So let me bring my x here. What is my x? Okay, so that you can understand things well. So let me create here np.linspace. run, and what was my y? Y was this one. Okay. Better is that if I write all these things in one line so that you can understand what is happening. Created an object. After creating of object, I just did this thing. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing special. Okay. Now I can run it. I can get the same graph. I can get the same graph. Means just thing is that in previous we have to just write plt.plot and x and y. plt.plot and x and y. This time we have to first create an object, then we have to assign axis, and then we have to plot it. This is a different way. Means same graph you are getting, but this is a different way of getting the same graph. Object-oriented approach. In interview, they may ask you. In interview, task-wise, they will never ask you how to create the graph. In interview, they may ask you how many methods do you know to plot the graph using matplotlib. So you will say two ways: functional approach or object-oriented approach. Okay. Now, earlier, remember how do we set the labels? We set plt.x label, plt.y label, plt.title. Here, instead of plt, you will simply use what axis. See what I'm going to type? I'm going to type axis. You'll understand that. Dot. Now you have to use the word set. Set, then underscore. We haven't executed, that's why it's not coming automatically. Level, x level, and put the values that you want. Suppose I set x level. X, whatever you want to put, x label. Similarly, you can set your y label, axis dot set underscore y label, and you can set y label within that. And same way you can set your title as well. Same way you can set your title, axis dot set underscore title. And whatever title you want to say, suppose I said y versus x. Okay. Simple. I said simple, but nothing special. Just you have to use the keyword. PLT will be replaced by axis, and one more word has to be added. That is set. Set underscore. Set underscore. Okay. So I can run this. What happened? Axis object has no y lib. Oh, spelling is mistake. Spelling mistake is this y lib. Okay, an error. Y lib. Okay. You can check. Okay, so there are two ways you can create the same thing using your functional approach and using your object-oriented approach. Only issue is that this extra thing is required. This extra thing is required, otherwise there is nothing special about it. Nothing is special about it. Okay, and let me show you an example. What is the advantage of this? Let me show you one thing. Okay, so I'm copying same thing again. Yes,
sir,
please.
hello.
Yes, please.
Sir, actually here I have one. Sir, you have said x is equal to figure dot add x.
Rama, can you type? Actually, your voice is breaking. Can you type, please? Your voice is breaking. Can you type your query? That will be better because your voice is breaking actually. That will be good. We'll be able to see what you want to know. Are you typing?
Yes, sir.
Now you are audible. Now say. If I'm able to hear, I'll explain you. Please tell me.
Sir, means you have written na x is equal to figure dot dot add x is 0.1, 0.1,
yes,
0.8, 0.8. So
this thing, yeah, don't worry, yes. Wait. Practically you will
some
understand.
diagram so that
don't
I can
worry.
understand from the plot.
Don't worry.
Yes, sir.
Practically let me
okay, sir.
Let me show one more example so you can get that idea. Okay? Practically, let me do one more thing. Okay, so what I am doing again I'm doing the same thing. This time I'm creating this axis. First of all, let axis 1. Okay, And I'm creating one more axis now. Understand, please. Axis 2 equal to same object I'm calling. You will understand it very easy. Fig axis 2 fig dot add underscore axis bracket, and in the list again I will pass some parameter and you will understand it very, very well now. 0.2 comma 0.5 comma 0.4 comma 0.3. Okay, just this thing I'm doing right now, nothing else. Let me remove that and let me run it. Can you see and can you imagine what is happening now? See what I have written and see what is happening. Let me zoom up less if possible. Can you please now see? Imagine what parameters I have given here, what parameters I have given here, and what is happening here. See the scales, please, and assume what is happening. Two axes I have created. One is this axis above one. Second one is this axis. And what parameters? Remember, the parameters start from left, then bottom, then width, and then height. Just understand this, please. Please see and tell me. Are you getting some idea from this? Got some idea?
Hello, sir.
Yes, yes, please.
Sir, could not relate properly. If you can explain.
Sure, sure. See, let me take the pen. Let me take the pen. See, relate what is happening. Okay. In the above, you said 0.1, 0.1, 0.8, 0.8. So what it is saying simply, out of the entire canvas that has been given to me for plotting, okay, it is telling me the coordinates for the axis 1 to create, in which you want to see the graph. Okay, so it said that for whatever reason you have assigned to me, whatever canvas you have assigned to me, suppose this is 0, 2, 0, 1, then 9 or 10, whatever value it is. Okay, so suppose example 0 to 10. This is the entire canvas that has been assigned to me by this one, plt.figure. What it is saying, while you are plotting my graph, take 0.1, means 0.1, whatever window you have assigned to me, whatever scale it is, move 10% to the left. Whatever you have assigned to me, move 10% to the left. So suppose it is 0, so 10% of this will be 1. So come here, create a window. Okay, come here, left 0.1, that is 10%. Then instead of starting from here, you are saying that, okay, now don't start from here. Don't start immediately, means if he x sees, then it is the point actually. If it is the point on the base, it is saying don't start from here. Again, move 10% from bottom. Again, move 10% from the bottom. So bottom is here. So move 10% above, that is 1. If 1 is here, that means plot your graph from this point. Okay, plot your graph from this point. Getting this point or not? Move 10% from the entire window to the left. Move this way. So I moved, reached to this point. Now don't plot the graph from here. Move to from this point. Move to 10%. So I moved 10% above. That is this point. I moved up. Tell me, is it okay till this point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now what it is saying? Now it is okay, fine. I want my height to be 0.8% of your entire figure, entire canvas, 0.8 of your entire canvas. Okay, so if it is entire 10, please give me 8. If your entire height is 10 inches, if your entire height is 10 inches, give me 80% of that. That is 8 inches should be the height. Okay, 80% of the height. Now, whatever your width is, give me 80% of that. So if your width is 10 inches, give me 80% of that. Okay, so this is the 80% example. So this is the reason in which your graph will be plotted. This is your entire canvas. Outer boundary is your entire canvas. Outer boundary is your entire canvas, out of which you have chosen something. I hope you're getting my point now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so now this graph is saying 0.2. So what we are saying, from the entire canvas area, move 20% here, suppose here. Okay, and instead of starting from here, start 50%. 50% from bottom. So 50% will be something here. Right? So here and 50% somewhere midway. So start from here. It said, right? Then it said, okay, whatever your height is, give me 40% of that. Whatever your height is, give me 40% of that. 40%, remember 40%. Okay, so 10, so it give me 4 inches. Give me 4 inches. Okay, only 4 inches. And whatever your height is, sorry, yeah, with this word, so I spelled wrong. It was, so understand, I made some mistake. Let me clear it and tell me again. Okay, suppose this is my entire canvas. Let me explain once again. The order is like this. This is your left, bottom, width, and height. I think I misspelled. So understand properly. So this is your entire canvas. So move 10% to the left, 10% of the from the left. So I move 10% from the left, suppose here. Now don't start from here. Don't start from here. Again, go 10% above from the bottom. So 10% above from the bottom is here. Okay, suppose this is the scale. Now, of the entire your graph is, whatever your width is, suppose it 10 inches, give me 80% of that. Give me 80% of that. This is the third parameter is your width, right? So give me 80% of that. Suppose this is the one. Okay, because 10% we have covered here, right? 10% we have covered here. So only 80% remain. If you leave it here like this, right? And then it is saying, okay, fine. And how much height I will cover? I will cover of the entire height. I will cover only 80% again. So whatever height is, I will cover 80% of it. And 80%. This will be the window assigned to first axis one. Okay. Now we are moving to the second axis. So second axis is saying what? Whatever your size is, please move 20% of the left. So 20%, it is 10%. So I move 20% here, this way. And instead of starting from this, move 50% from the bottom. Okay, so I came here 50%. So this is my starting point example. Now he's saying, give me 40% of an entire width. Entire width, whatever width is, give me 40% of that. Suppose it gives this. Okay, and whatever your height is, give me 30% of that. Okay, so give the height 30%. So this is the graph which you are seeing here. Can you see? Please tell me now. Is it okay?
Yes, sir. Now it is clear.
Perfect. Everyone, please tell me. I told this is a bit complex, but you can understand. See, let's play with it. Now you will love it. Now you will love it. See, let me do some changes and you will enjoy it. See, let me zoom it again. Yeah. Okay. Suppose I did one thing. I make it 0 or I make it 0.1. Same as this. Okay. Same as this. Now see. See. Both are starting left window align or not, please. Can you check now? Can you check? Right? Similarly, suppose I want to bring it down. Okay. So do something, but instead of 0.5, make it 0.1 again. Let's see what happens. Can you see now?
Yes, sir.
I hope everyone got an idea now perfectly. Please tell me. Getting idea? So anywhere you can move your second figure. Anywhere you want, you can move your second figure. Anywhere you want to move your second figure, it can move there. Okay. So let me change it. I think it was 0.2. It was 0.5. Perfectly fine. Okay. So I'm getting back again. Okay, got it. Okay. So just understand it is left, bottom, width, and height. Okay. Now whatever data I want to plot, I will use that. Whatever data I want to plot. So suppose I want to plot again, axis I have created. So I'm saying that axis 1 in bigger graph, I want to plot axis 1 dot plot x comma y. Okay? X comma y. And in the small, the color, let's change the color so that we can differentiate. That color will be red. Okay. And in the bigger plot, that is in the smaller plot, which is axis 2 dot plot. Okay, axis 2 dot plot. Suppose I want to show y comma x. Y comma x, not x and y, or you want to do anything you want to do. It's up to you. And suppose I want color to be, let's say, green. Okay. And if you want to set the title, it's up to you. You know how to set the title. Axis1 dot set plot, or axis1 dot set x label, axis1 dot set y label, axis1 dot set title. Everything you can set the way we did it here. Okay. Way we did it here, so you can use it directly. I'm copying it here, coming here. Okay. Instead of that, I'm just making it example axis 1 everywhere instead of axis. Okay. And same I copied here. Just make it axis 2. Just understand what it is now. Now, instead of this is y label, right? Because we have changed the position of y and x, right? So I'm changing y, x, now mentioning as x versus y. Okay, so let me run this and you can check now. It's good. That's why it is powerful, so much powerful. Object-oriented one is how easily we are able to do that within the same graph, wherever we want to push. This graph we can push anywhere we want. Is it fine, everyone, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I hope it is clear to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Great. Should I move ahead now?
Yes, sir.
Now see, till now we have understand how we can do that. Making subplot in your that approach was very easy. We just type PLD or subplot. Now suppose here we want to create subplots using your this approach, using your object oriented approach. I want to create that. So what we will have to do? We have to mention something like this. Okay. So what we are going to do now? We are going to move at the bottom again. Okay. And we are going to type fic. You can type anything you want. It's entirely up to you. Okay. Axis equal to PLT dot subplot. Okay. PLT dot subplot. I simply type that. Okay. And within subplots rather, PLT dot subplots. And within that, mention your row numbers and column numbers. How many rows you want, how many columns you want. As simple as that. Okay. So I'm mentioning n rows, number of rows equal to example 1, and number of columns I want equal to 2. Okay. Number of rows I want 1 and number of columns I want to 2. If I run this, you'll see something. It generated 2 axes for me. It generated automatically 2 axes for me. One is this one, one is this one. One is this one, and this is second one. And if you want to see your axis now, what axis is having? Axis is having 2 matplotlib canvas for you. You can check it. Axis, type axis here. You can see it has 2 available here. Axis subplot and axis subplot. And once it is an array form, you can easily put on the loop. Easily, very easy. For example, this is axis now. What I can do? Even I can access it this way. Axis C. I put a bracket. And I can index it the same way. Axis 0. I will get the first one. The axis subplot 1. If I put 1, I can access this way. very easily without any plot, right? Or if you want to do, you can use, because it is having index 1, you can use in the loops as well. Directly you can use them in the loops if you want. Very easily you can use them in the your for loop as well if you want to use them. Getting my point? What is happening here? See and tell me, please. Easily see, and having any doubt, please, what is happening here? We have to type this way: plt.subplots, number of rows you have to tell, number of columns you will type. So whatever number of rows and column you will type, it will understand, okay, it has put n rows equal to 1 and columns equal to 2. That means two windows of plots, two subplots I have to create. So it will create two subplots and pack them for the axis. So axis is having my array, which is having two subplots. For example, I made 1 and columns equal to 3. You will see that it will have 3 elements now, 3 graphs and 3 elements. If I run this, you can see that. See, 3 elements I'm here. I can access any element the same way we were doing that. Same way we were doing that. Easily see and then tell me, is it fine or not, please? That is very important to understand. Now what we can do, suppose, let me show you an example, okay? I'm just typing axis 0 dot, see please, axis 0 dot plot. And within that I put x comma y. Let me run that. Okay. What happened? It created an object for you at the line this way. Right? It created an object for me at this way. Can you see that? It created an object for me at this place. Easily you can see that. Okay. You want to use axis 1, it will create that way. If you put axis 2, it will create that way. So anything you want to put it there, you can easily put it there. Easily you can put it there, right? Without any doubt, you can easily put there without any issue. Okay. So suppose what I'm going to do now, let's say I just set x is equal to 1, 2, 3. Let me make it 2 again and let me show you. I did that. And what I'm going to do now, I just show you what is happening here. Let me go to delete here. And suppose I'm typing here. See, please understand properly what is going to happen. I'm typing for, okay, whatever name you want to give, it's a loop variable. I said ax in axis. For ax in axis, what I want to do, I want to plot. What I want to plot? Ax dot plot. Okay, ax dot plot, because we have two windows. This is first axis, this is second axis. So I'm saying take first axis and plot it because the loop. So 2 in the first iteration, it will be having first index. It will be first dot plot. What do you want to plot there? Tell them. You want to plot, for example, x comma y, and the color should be red. Okay, x comma y, color should be red. That's it. I did that. Nothing else. I'm going to do that. If you want to set the title, you can set the title as well from here. Take anything from here. Let's see here. I'm taking this and paste it here. Okay. Sorry. Yep. Yep. Okay. I did this, and after that, I want to see my figure. What happened? What error I had here? ND object no attribute set underscore x label. ND array has not attribute. What happened now? np.access is created perfectly. nplt.subplots and rows we are getting 2. And what's the issue is coming here? access.plt.subplots we did fig.access. We made some error. Subplots we are getting 2 subplots perfectly fine. Then I'm saying for axis and axis. Okay, let me drop it first of all. Let me see. Okay, let me run that. Can you see my graphs, please? Right? I'm able to get, I'm able to plot wherever I want. I'm able to get wherever I want. Is it fine, everyone? I'm able to use first, good, I want to this, then this. You can easily do that. Okay, so you're able to access that with the help of that only. But that is more easier. As I told you in the beginning, this part is very easy. If you do with the help of this plt.subplot here, it is damn easy. 99% of the people use this because it's very easy to understand. And you can use anything, but you should know. You should know, yes, it can be done. You should know it can be done with the help of your object-oriented method as well, because that is very easy. If you see here, it's very easy. Plotting subplot directly, you can do that. Just decide, plot it, decide and plot it. Without any problem, you can do that. Is it fine? Okay. Or instead of that, if you want to use that, what you can do now, I'm using that in the figure. What I can do, see, I'm using here ax of that. I'm saying, what is my that axis 0 equal to, or axis 0 dot plot. You can use, no issue with that. Axis 0 dot plot, whatever you want to plot. I want to plot x comma y with a figure of r, color of r. Okay. And here also second axis of 1, because two things we are having only, dot plot. Suppose again I want to plot x comma y, but with a different color now. Suppose I want to plot a green, and you want to show fig here. Can you see that? If you don't want to use the loop, use the same indexing. Okay, I got an idea. It has two elements, right? It has two elements, first element and second element. And how can I access? I know I can access them by putting brackets. The same way we access the lists, same way we can access our array. So I put x is 0 and I said there. Tell me, is it easy or not? Please. Any way you want to do, any way you want to do. It's entirely your choice. Please tell me. Just use that.
Sir,
After assigning the value, you have to use the word figure to see your figures. Otherwise, you won't be able to see that. Here,
sir,
what is happening? Yes, please tell me.
Sir, means here the plot should be same type. Means
No,
if you
anything-
consider plot
no.
1 means figure 1 and figure 2 is two different.
No, you want to make different, you have to make. So I make y and x.
Yes.
No, it's your choice. It's your choice, whatever you want to do. Suppose I made y comma x, then it will show different graph. It's entirely your choice. See. Okay.
Okay, sir.
It's entirely your choice what you want to see. It's entirely your choice. That's just an example. In this case, you will getting one thing, but this way you're able to get whatever you want, right? This is the easier way, whatever you want. This was just a method to show you that you can use same axis inside your loops now. You can use same inside your loops now, but without the loops also you can access them. By using axis 0 dot plot, axis 1 dot plot, you assign the values, use your figure. You will get the values. Whatever you want to put, it's entirely your choice. Fine?
Label cannot be
Actually, your voice is getting disconnected. Anybody else can speak for him if anybody is able to hear him properly what he is saying. If anybody else is able to understand what he is saying, please tell me. No? So should I move ahead? Please tell me, should I move ahead?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you can use any method, doesn't matter. This one is easier, honestly speaking. This one is far easier than that method that we were doing. It is very, very easy. It is very easy. Directly you can do that, but you should know these methods as well. This is, as at the beginning itself, I told you this is a bit tougher to understand, but no issue. I hope you are getting an idea. Whatever you will write here, same array will be created, and that array will be assigned to axis. Those axes you can access individually by their index. Okay, and those figure you can access by using fig. As simple as that. So as I type 2, 1, 2. So I must say canvases must be assigned to me. Okay, 2 windows should be assigned to me for the plotting. So those will be packed in an array and assigned to axis. Now those can be accessed by putting axis 0 and axis 1. And whatever you want to plot, just plot by this. And later on, you want to see the figure, just use the figure. I think this is the easiest way to understand. Fine? Is it fine, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay, so now I'm moving ahead. See, once again, so suppose I'm typing a fig equals to, again, same. The same way object we created, plt.figure. This is the one. And within the one, what we can write our figure size as well. Whatever figure size you want to create. Yeah, whatever figure size you want to create, you can create that. It's entirely your choice. For example, we created a subplot, whatever you want to say. Suppose I said plt.figure, and within that argument, there is an option of fixed size. If we go inside, see, there's an argument known as fixed size. So we can use that argument, fixed size equal to, in form of a tuple. You have to find how many inches height you want, how many inches width you want. You can set that. Okay. So let me take an example directly. So suppose I am using here and typing fig, comma, same way we were doing earlier, fig, comma, axis equal to plt dot subplot. Okay. Same way I'm doing that, plt dot subplot. And within that, even in the figure as well, you can use that. That's not a problem. Figure dot subplots. And I'm typing here, instead of putting number of rows and column, I'm just using fig. Why it is not working? Fixed size. I think it is the argument only. Check it. What it is. Fixed size. I'm not able to see that. But don't worry, it will be there. Fixed size is equal to, I said anything. Suppose I said fixed size equal to 12, 3. You'll understand this. Just a second. Give me a second only. You'll understand that. Okay. And within that axis, as I'm not mentioned number of rows and columns here. So by default, it is taking number of rows to be 1, column to be 1, right? So only one figure can be plotted. One figure can be plotted by this axis. So I'm typing here, see, axis dot plot, whatever you want to plot. Suppose I want to plot x, comma, y. Okay. X, comma, y, just I mentioned. And then I set a label of them, whatever label I want to set them. Suppose I said axis dot set underscore x label, set underscore x label, it should take, not taking notion, label, and I mentioned x. Okay. You got capital X. Similarly, I copied it and used here y label. And here I mention again set title. If you can understand this line, you are master of this. Don't worry about that thing. Understand what is happening. This is saying that plot subplots. Okay. We didn't mention number of rows and columns. And when we are not mentioning number of rows and columns, then what is going to happen? How many rows it is taking? 1. How many columns it is taking? 1. Only 1 row and 1 column. Okay. Only 1 row and within that 1 column. So how many figures can be plotted? Only 1. Because we have said 1 row and 1 column. Intersection of them is 1 only. So only 1 figure can be plotted. Okay. So that's why axis can directly be used, because axis will be having only 1 graph. So I'm directly saying axis dot plot. If I mention set, suppose 1, 2, so axis will be having 2 values at index 0 and index 1. But here we are nothing is mentioned, it's taking 1 and 1. That means only 1 graph can be plotted. So 1 graph, so directly we can use axis here. We can directly use axis here without any issue, right? So if I use that, clear all my drawings, this, and let me see my figure. Can you see what happened? Why your axis 2 times plotted? Let me just move that. Here and this. Yeah. Can you see now, please? The width has been increased. If I change it, see, if I change it like this, 3 and 12. Now see, this is height and width. Okay, so height has been increased now. If we see here, height has been increased. First comes width, then comes height. So if I make it again back, 12, 3. Now width will be 12 and height will be 3. Width is 12, height is 3. Depending upon your graph, whatever you want to see, you can change this figure size. You can easily change that figure size. This is one parameter. Okay. Even you want to save, you can use your DPI as well. You can set your DPI, dots per inch. You can set your dots per inch. How many means resolution, what kind of resolution you want. So you can set your DPI as well. For example, I said 100. Okay. Now see, it has been increased now further. Okay, so you can change these things. You can set your figure size, what figure size you want, what dots per inch you want. Everything you can set here. Even you can save your figure as well. Whatever figure you have created, you can even save that. Okay, so where is the figure? Figure is in the fig. You can to save that, you can save that. Directly you can click here and save images. Option is there. Can you see? This is the option save images. So I can click it. Okay, and I can save it, for example, in the desktop. I am saving trial in the name of trial, PNG image, save it, and it has been downloaded. We can go there and see. The graph should be saved, which you can use in your reports. Can you see that? Directly your graph has been saved. Even without manually doing that, you can do it with the help of code as well. You don't need to save it by save as. If you want to do that, you can do that. Otherwise, we can save as well. For example, I'm typing fig dot save fig. That's it. Save fig dot save fig and whatever file name you want to use. Whatever file name. So remember, here we have used the fig. Same word will be used here. Remember that thing. Same word will be used here. So I put name trial1 dot whatever you want to see in JPG or PNG, whatever format you want. You can do that and it will save your figure. Execute it. I can go to my C users del. Python, this is C users del. And I can see my trial1 should be there somewhere. Trial1.jpg. Yeah, it is here. Sorry, PNG. The same graph is here. Fine. So there are two ways of saving your graphs. Either you can click right hand click save as JPG because you might have to use in your reports as well. Okay. Or you can dot save fig as well. Whatever you prefer. Whatever you prefer. It's entirely your choice of using. Is it okay? How can we change our figure? Is it okay? Please tell me. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
How can we set our DPI? Okay. Even here that option is also available everywhere. Fixed size you want to set everywhere. Here also you can put set fixed size. Even here also, if you go upside and here, you can also put your figure size. Okay, it's not showing completely. Okay, so everywhere you want to set that, you can set that. Figure size is not a problem for you. Okay, so moving ahead, you now get an idea how to increase the size and everything. Now, moving ahead, titles, we know how to set the titles. Easily we can set the titles as per our requirement. Okay, now suppose you want to do something like what do you want to do? We want to plot two figures. Okay, we want to plot two curves, in fact, within the same graph. Okay? We want to set see two figures in the same graph. But how can we do that? Okay? How can we do that? So understand what I'm gonna do. Suppose I created again my figure equals to plt dot figure. Okay, this object has been created. Showing bucket. This is the size of which is available, means canvas has been assigned to you. Now you can use that. Any idea how can you think of how can we create that? If you can think of, please tell me. If you can even imagine how we'll be able to do that. Just try to imagine. Try to imagine, please, if you can.
Sir, by putting it in list.
by putting in it list.
List.
Okay, got good idea about them, but few things are missing only. Few things are missing. Go back, you may get an idea. Look at here where we created our first figure object. Yeah. Now you get an idea something. Try to catch. Try to catch an idea. How can we do that?
So by considering same axis.
See, very good. Very good. See, what we are going to do now, we created figure.plt.figure, perfectly fine. No issue with that. Now we are creating our axis. Ax equal to same object that we have created, fig. And we want to create a axis. So fig, remember, fig was the word, dot add underscore axis was the keyword. Sorry, method that was available, add underscore axis. And within that, we put it our where we want our figure to be. So suppose I said you can get an idea 0, 0, 1, 1. Can you tell me what it will do? Fig dot add axis 0, 0, 1, 1. Remember what I said? This one is left. This one is bottom. This one is width. This one is height. Remember? Right? So what we are saying, occupy complete area. I hope you are getting my point now. Remember, these values can be only between 0 and 1. These value can be only between 0 and 1. How much percentage of area you want? If you are saying width, you want 100%. Height, you want 100%. You said, na? Right? Similarly, you are saying start from the left only. Start from the bottom only. Don't move anywhere else. You are saying occupy complete area which has been mentioned here. Occupy complete area which has been mentioned here. This is the simple thing you are telling them. And now once you are telling them, now you can plot your graph. For example, what I'm going to plot, I'm going to say that, okay, ax dot plot. See what is going to happen. Ax dot plot, I want to plot x versus, suppose x to the power 2. Same. Okay. And I'm also putting a label as well. I'm also putting a label. And label is suppose same x to the power 2. Okay. Same. And the same thing I'm going to say once again, ax dot plot. Again, I'm using x, and this time I need x to the power 3. Okay. And label of this, I want that x label equals to x to the power 3. Okay. And I want to see their legend. How can we see that? Means we want to see these labels. You understand? You know the legends. What are the legends? Ax dot legend. Or let me do one thing. Let me comment these for first, okay, so that you can understand what I mean by that. Let me comment them. And also let me comment this. Okay. Later on, I'll show you. Let me run this. Unexpected. What happened? Okay, it is taking it as a function only. Why it is taking as a function? Okay, let me delete it. Let me run this. Again, something is missing. Okay, how stupid this is happening just because of this thing. Let me put a comma. I'll add it later on. Yeah. I think nothing remaining now. Ax comma this perfect. Yeah, this. Okay. Not able to see that, put fig. Can you see now, please? We are able to get both the graphs. One is x square, one is x cube. Within the same graph, if you want to change the color, you can change the color as your requirement. Suppose I said, what color you want? You want to color, suppose one you want is red, and one you want as blue. Okay. This is the thing I did. I typed it. Now I hope you are getting. This is nothing but x to the power 3, and this is nothing but x to the power 2. We are getting, but how will we recognize? How will we recognize that this is x square or this is x cube? We are not able to recognize that. So for that, we need legions. We need legions, right? We need legions. For that purpose only, here the thing was put in that x dot legion. Legend. Okay, this was put in. And where the legions will take from? This legend will be taken from these labels that you are assigning here. Whatever label you are assigning here, it will take from that. So let me uncomment that now. Now it will be fine. I'm removing this again and putting this. Otherwise, it will not be able to take the legions. So let me run this. Now you can see the red is x square and this is x cube. Is it fine? Please fine. So we can add our legions as well. How? Just put your labels in the graph. Just put your labels in the graph and use those labels with the help of this legion function. Just use that with the help of legion function. I'm repeating once again. For example, I was able to plot two graphs in the same. Perfectly fine. No issue with that, right? But the issue is that how will I recognize which is x or which is x square? So for the same purpose, what I did, I simply called a function known as legion, but that legion will how come to know? So we have to tell them with the help of label. Whatever label you want to put, just put it there. You will get your value. Is it fine? Okay. In fact, here the coming, automatically it is coming here. So what you can do here, you can set an argument as well. For example, in this, there's an argument known as lock. Okay. There's an argument known as lock, for which different places are there. Different places are there where you can put it. Wherever you want to put it, it will take, for example, I put lock equal to 1. It will take upper right corner. See, right means this one. It will come here. If I execute this, see, it has come here. Okay. If I use 2, it will change its position. It will come here. Actually, it is executed again and again, so it is keep adding that. That's the only issue. But you can get an idea from this position. You can get your, again, it is adding. It automatically chooses the best location for it. It will set to you. Look, it's equal to, you can set different upper right corner, left right corner, whatever you want to put. But if you put 0, 0 is the best thing. 0 is best means automatically matplotlib will decide which is the best location in the entire graph for putting this legion. Automatically. So better is what? Put location equal to 0. But in the interview, they may ask you, okay, I want to place it in the right corner, left corner. So accordingly, you can change it to 0, 1, 2, and 3. Automatically, you can change it. This is nothing but legion, what you are seeing here. Okay, so let me run this again. And let me run this again. Now it's perfect, right? Because you are executing again and again, the legions will keep adding that. That's the only reason. So once I execute it again, so see, we can see here. Automatically choosing the best location. This is the best location for this place. Even you can get at the center. Wherever you want, you can get at the center. Several options are available. Wherever you want to set it. Is it fine, everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Is it fine? Two more things I want to tell you. Two more small more things. Suppose, okay, you are plotting it x equal to this. You are by default setting r here. There are other options available as well. Let me show you that. Let me remove the r here, r from here. So the basic settings will be completed so that we can directly move to our classes, our graphs. Okay, so this is the done. Now see what I'm going to type. You can set your color scale as well. For example, I was by default putting R and G or thing. There is one more thing. You can do same thing with the help of this as well. Color equals to, example, I said here, color equals to blue. Okay? Color equals to blue. I can use that. Okay? Color equals to blue. This is one way of doing that. or you can type just B. We saw that, or a G or R after comma. We were doing that at that position. If you're using that, then remember to put in that position only, means after X and Y, because this is named you are using. You say directly you are using with the help, you can put it anywhere. But if you are directly want to put here instead of that, then position is important. Then position is important. You want to directly use it, put it here like B. Okay. If you don't want to mention color like something, then put it like this way. Okay. If you're not using this way, remember the keyword arguments, like same thing, like keyword you are using, color. So you can put it anywhere. COLOR equals to blue. Okay. Whatever color you want to set it. Color equals to, example, now I said green, whatever you want to set it. Okay. In fact, instead of red, blue, green color, actually, when you will work more into the pictures, every color has a unique hex code. Every color has a unique hex code. You can use that hex code as well. Example, if you go there, type here and type hex code of colors. Hex code of different colors you can see. For example, blue, purple, gray. Suppose I need a gray color. See, this is the hex code which is available, 0008080. Okay, I can copy it here. Suppose you think of what is the color I need. So you can use a custom color as well. You can use a custom color. They must be available. If I go here, W3 school is showing here. It is showing, see, the hex code of different colors, very different. Gray, how many shades are there? Color picker, okay, and a hex code, whatever. Suppose I need this custom color, not by default, I need this color. Okay, so this is the thing, and it is telling me this is 70% matching. You can use this hex code. See, I'm using this. I'm using this. Okay, copying here and going back to my Jupyter notebook. Sorry. I'm coming here, no, I'm working here, and I can set it this way. Instead of green, I can type my color code within the same codes. Okay, copy and paste and see, right? So whatever color you want to choose, you can choose that way. You can go to the color mapping. It may happen. Your customer may say, please give me this color graph I need. Okay. So you can go to your W3, or several websites are there. We can search in. Several websites are there. You can customize your color, whatever color you want. Suppose example, if I ask you what color you will call it, right? What color you will call it? So you don't know the idea, right? You cannot say what color this is. This is not yellow. This is not something. It's a different color. So just copy his hex code. Just copy his hex code, right? From here, any color, ask him, please choose any color you want. Just click, copy his hex code, go to your file, just come here, paste it here, and make him happy. Don't say, sir, I don't have that color. Getting my point? Is it fine? So in our professional life, when we are doing, we have to satisfy our client. Whatever he's saying, sir, please choose any color you want. I'll do for you. Is it fine, everyone? There is one more thing, actually, last thing, then I will end today, known as alpha value. There's one more value known as alpha value, which indicates your transparency. Means how transparent you want your particular graph to be. For example, we have chosen this color, right? So suppose I want to make it transparent. How much transparency you want? For that purpose, you can add your alpha. For example, I said 0.5 and execute it. Sorry, what happened? There is some problem occurred. Where the mistake happened? Alpha. I made some mistake in what? Alpha equal to 0.5. Can you see the color faded a bit? Right? So depending upon that, how much transparency you want, you can use it. Transparency you want 0.3, execute it. Some fitness will be there. You want 100% transparency, make it 1. See how faded it has become. So you can change your transparency with the help of this alpha parameter. Okay, whatever parameter you want to set it and use it. It's for the transparency only. just for the transparency, how much faded it will become and something like that. Is it fine? Few more, 2-3 more rings are remaining that we'll cover tomorrow, and we'll then move to our plots directly. These were the basic settings which were required. Means how we can use that, how we can use that. That is the basic thing were required. Now we will move to the different graphs. And for example, histogram, line graph, pie chart, your bar chart, count chart, frequency charts, all these graphs, and which scenarios this will be using. But this was the basic foundation which was very much required, because sometimes it happens you have to plot 6-7 graphs at a time to visualize, and your boss says, please give me 1-page report only. So you can't say that, sir, I will play 10 graphs or 5 graphs. You must know how to set multiple graphs at a time. Is it fine, everyone? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
So don't worry, it was a basic thing only. This is the thing you should practice only. By that, few things will be coming to you. Lots and lots of things are there. We are not going to cover everything, because for data science that is not required. Otherwise, there are thousands and thousands of plots that you can plot. If I go here, even 3D plots are there. If I show you, I've created some notes for those people who are in PhD. I teach them. They want to learn that way only. So let me show you that. You can have 3D plots as well. Let me show you that. Logarithmic scale you can have, normal scale you can have, abundance things of them, but that's not for you. You don't require scientific notations. You want 10 to the power 2 or something, right? Even 3D plots are there. See, these kind of graphs you can give. Have you seen these kind of graphs? You must have seen that if you're from electronics background, such kind of graph, right? These graphs you will plot also.
share it with us.
It was almost.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please. These graphs, see.
Sir, could you please share these us?
These are, I'll share with you, don't worry. See, these are the 3D plots. These are 3D plots, right? We are getting 3D graphs even available. You can do them, see. These all are possible. And that depends on your requirement. This is very wide. Okay? And this in this file documentation is there. You can go there. For example, if I open it, see, you can go here. Everything is available. Different kinds of layouts you want as per your requirement. You can go there and choose it. Okay. For example, I click on this one. See, a line plot, a simple plot, images. You can even click on this, and you can get a code of this, right? This is a simple way to learn. Go down to that particular website. Examples are there. Go into the examples. Choose any gallery you want. Suppose you want a stack bar chart, horizontal bar chart, broken bar. See the graphs, level of graphs. Okay, this kind of graphs you want. Their code is available. You copy them and use them as per your requirement. See. And this is actually the way of learning. Go use and as per your requirement, see what is happening. Head graph is there. You can use it as per your requirement. Abundance amount of graphs. They cannot be finished. If we keep on working that, will take 1 month to finish them. So entirely upon your requirement, we work on. What is our requirement, what we want, then only accordingly we work. See, contour graph, if you are available of these things, right? Abundance amount of things. Very, very beautiful graphs. See, these are not finishing. Keep adding. They will not finish for sure. See, you can go there, go to the box plot. Okay, these are the blocks. How do we obtain these box plots? So we will also cover. Don't worry. Abundance amounts of sites. So I am mentioning. I will share this file with you, and this is the link. Okay, this is the link. Go to the first option, matplotlib.org. Within that, go to the tutorials or examples, whatever you want to go, and take any one as per your requirement. As per your requirement, wherever you want. Okay, wherever you want, you can use them. Bar chart with gradient you want to see, this is available. What is their code? You can see that. You can use indirectly use them. Even code are available. See, Jupyter notebook, Python notebook, everything is there. That's why the Python is getting popular. So much support is there. Okay, so I'm ending for the day. Okay. Okay, everyone. So I will be sharing that. Is it okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks.